Hello and welcome to this new episode of Working with Agents. Today, we want to answer a question that was asked actually by one of my colleagues. He realized that in our newsletter, the news were increasingly negative, that every headline that we put in our newsletter on Monday suddenly became only towards AI failures, issues with company, lawsuit. And the question from my colleague was, have we changed our way of reporting news on AI? And then I wanted to ask another question. Maybe we're not changing our perspective on AI, but maybe the general coverage of AI from the media has changed. What did we do? We asked AI, we asked some of our agents what they thought about the way the media has been depicted AI in the last 6 months, and was it changing? We wrote a detailed blog post on the very topic that you can find on our website, how media's AI narrative shapes impacts for your business. But I want to go back to the original results from every single AI. From this article, you can see which AI we looked at and a summary of the key elements, the differences between each AI. So each AI has taken the problem from a different perspective, what you should think about it, how it should influence your strategy. Go to systeminmotion.com, click on blog, and you will find this article on the change of narrative media on AI. First, let's start with DeepSeek, DeepSeek R1. We use DeepSeek as a reasoning model, but without access to the internet. So this model only has access to its training data. And it's already quite accurate. It doesn't provide a lot of information, mainly seven points, which are all on point, from wow to how. So the media used to be very positive about the potential on AI, and now they're looking into more realities. There's a reckoning with reality into what companies are really doing it. A focus on risk and ethics. So the technology has led to abuse and issues. This is also covered by the media. It was not so much 6 months ago. Is there a narrative also about plateauing, about the new models not being so much disruptive compared to the other one? There's less coverage of job loss. That was a big headline 6 months, even 2 years ago. Now it's about job transformation. It's about the impact on people's life. From theory to action, so practical application in companies, broader access and commoditization. What does it mean? I think there's a general opinion that AI is here to stay, so companies and employees have to adapt to that. What does it mean concretely? And then geopolitics, so the U.S.-China rivalry. I think it was already there 6 months ago, but now it has amplified, and it's more of a topic that is covered by media. So without any access to real-time information, DeepSeek R1 was already quite good and accurate on this one. Kimi K2, very similar actually, but this one we run Kimi on web search. So here we have some articles. So these are the articles that Kimi looked at. So Kimi, using our prompt, didn't really look at articles from 6 months ago and articles from now to do a comparison. It looked for articles, that very topic of media coverage. So it's more of an indirect view. And this is linked to the way we wrote our prompt. Right? How has the media representation of AI evolved in the last 6 months? Because with this prompt, Kimi is not really an agent. Kimi will not look for articles from 6 months ago, make these two lists and this comparison. Kimi will look for articles related to exactly this prompt. Nevertheless, there were a lot of articles that were written on that topic, so we get a decent salary. Bottom left, voyeurism to mediatic technology drama, similar to what DeepSeek R1 had. The big difference here is now we have a reference, because now we're using a search model, so an AI that is using capability to search on the internet. Now we have access to resources, which we didn't have in the previous one with DeepSeek R1. So we have here all those headlines. AI stopped being the story and becoming the author of the story. So this one, we see that also in the other report. It's not about the AI coverage in the media, it's about how the AI is being used by the media industry. So this is a confusion that the model is making. Nevertheless, this is still interesting and still have a lot of references of how the media industry is using AI. Ethics, so we just saw that is also accurate. Here we have a good reference on this one. Personalized, sensitive, and immersive storytelling. Again, this is more about how the media is using AI. Kimi K2 is kind of halfway through. There's this confusion about media industry using AI versus the media industry covering AI, but it's still quite interesting. And finally, so if we ask for an agent to do that, Manus in this case, Manus is going to take way much more time, and it's going to look at coverage of the media industry in 2024. And then it's going to look at 2024, 2025. So issuing different queries at different points in time to go and gather this information. Yeah. Way much more references than Kimi K2, looking at different angles from different media, running different searches, not only one search on the internet, processing all the information as Manus does, as the agent are doing, and then creating a summary. And at the end, we have something that is way more in depth, more links to the article that they are referring to. So this one is the key article from CNN. Again, the agent didn't produce the analysis by itself. It found an article that covered this very topic of media coverage in AI and how it changed. Yeah. And then a second article also with analysis. This one is about a comparison between AI boom and the internet history, which is quite interesting as well. Another one, hype and Western value as AI is reported in Africa. So this one covers a time period that is backward, so it's not the last 6 months. I'm starting to see more and more of these occurrences with Manus, where it gets off topic because the article was written in August, but it's not covering the 6 months that we asked for it. It's kind of out of perspective. Bubble or not, the AI backlash. So this one is accurate, has some key insight and key triggers, and a timeline, which is quite nice. Looking at all these three, what we did writing this blog article, and the conclusion is like we actually needed these 5 AIs to give us different perspective on a topic like that. The topic is so large, and the topic can be tackled from different angles. Trusting only one AI for something like that to analyze such a large issue shouldn't really be given to only one AI. So on one side, it takes more time because we have to use different AI and we have to run that query on this one. And also we have to do a synthesis of the result, which is what we did. We actually appended all the results into one big file and asked one of the AI to summarize it and to write this article and adding a little bit of comparison, which maybe you don't need this comparison if you're only interested by the result. This is the way we got something interesting, something we can bring together, and especially adding this twist about business risk and strategy opportunities. So what does it mean for you? What does it mean for your company? What does it mean for your team? Thank you for listening. If you want more comparison and more ideas on different ways where you can leverage different AIs to answer very difficult business questions or very broad topics, register to this channel and see you soon in the next episode of Working with Agents.